A tropical storm has formed that is likely about to lead to a major hurricane to occur. Now, there's lots of questions remaining. Will this hit the United States? Will this be a fish storm? Well, if you sit tight for the next 4 to 5 minutes and let me get through severe weather talk, we will dive right into that. And we're just going to go rapid fire here through our severe outlooks and our breakdown for today. Starting off with our day one outlook, we do have a marginal risk of severe weather in North Dakota and Minnesota, and another one back here in Oklahoma, Texas, and New Mexico. And luckily, we do have no tornado risk today, although I will say back here in Northeast Oklahoma, there have been a few soundings today that are pulling marginal tornado risk. So I do actually think we could see an isolated tornado back there in Northeast Oklahoma today. With any storm when it first gets going, it may have enough to work with. 5% wind and hail risks. And tomorrow we have a marginal risk of severe weather across portions of Wisconsin and Michigan. No tornado risk, 5% wind and hail. On the day 3 outlook, we have another marginal risk of severe weather. This includes North and South Dakota. Damaging winds and large hail look to be the main factors. And moving on to our day 4 outlook, we actually have a 15% risk of severe weather across portions of South Dakota, North Dakota, and Minnesota. It does look like damaging winds are going to be the main threat these days, though. Now, moving on to the HRRR and what we can expect in terms of severe weather today. And if we go ahead and move it forward, around 6 o'clock today, we're going to see some storms fire up in Kansas, Missouri, and eastern Oklahoma. And we're going to see a few storms in New Mexico and Texas start to fire up that we're going to have to be keeping an eye on. And these storms over here in eastern and northeastern Oklahoma are going to be interacting with a boundary. That is why we do have to watch that threat for a brief tornado or two. Now, moving it up north some for today, we're going to see storms dropping out of Canada and redeveloping. Damaging winds and large hail are going to be the main threats today. Now, moving on to the HRRR and what we can expect tomorrow back here in Wisconsin. And we could see a few storms bubble up there in portions of northern Wisconsin in the Michigan Peninsula. And they're going to kind of congeal into a messy line, sort of clustery, bringing a damaging wind threat. I would not rule out a brief tornado somewhere tomorrow, though. Now, moving on to the GFS and what radar may look like as we move throughout our work week into the weekend and through the rest of August. Well, you can tell, looks like rain is going to be in the forecast for a very long time. And down there in the southern plains, we have to watch, and oh boy, what is this? Well, I know it's kind of blocked out by my stuff, but over here to the east of the United States, we see a hurricane. Definitely going to have to be watching that. And like I said, we will go over that here in a bit. But as you can tell, definitely very rainy, it looks like, as we go throughout August. The European model is going to show that same thing here, as it does look like severe weather may remain on the quiet side, but we're just going to have to watch it closely. Now moving on to what you guys all have been waiting for, and I tried to get through that severe weather forecast as fast as I could, because I know this is why a lot of you guys are here, and this is where we're going to spend the most time on this video, and we're going to slow it down here some. So right now, we do actually have Tropical Storm Erin. I believe that is the name. Let me just double check that. Yes, Erin. Okay. So as you can tell here, we have our cone of uncertainty, and it is expected to become a major hurricane by the end of the week on Saturday here near Puerto Rico. So we're going to have to watch this closely. And as you can tell, you're kind of like, wait, this line is kind of like if you kept drawing it straight through Florida. Oh no. Well, yes, that is a possibility. There's lots of outcomes that could come out of this, and this is why I'm about to break that all down for you. Moving on here to the GFS and what you can expect out of this, you can tell this thing has developed its low pressure system and is spinning, and it is looking to become that major hurricane. And There's lots of questions. Is this thing going to be able to go ahead and push westward to Florida or become a fish storm, go up the East Coast into the Northeast? We're unsure at the moment. And one thing that is going to be very important is our high pressure system right here, our Atlantic high pressure. And if this is a bit further to the west, this likely would end up taking a track through the United States. But if it is off to the east like this, it will likely just remain as a fish storm. So we are definitely going to have to watch this. But if we take it back, you can tell our high pressure is actually to the west, and it does start to shift to the east. And this is why this is such a hard system to forecast, is if it stays here, it is likely going to impact the United States, but it kind of shifts to the east. So we are watching this very closely, as this could definitely be catastrophic. And here's the European model, and it's showing that high pressure system. It kind of stays a bit further to the east here, but then right as this thing is moving near Puerto Rico, it comes back to the west and then goes back to the east again. So we have to watch this closely. And if I go ahead and bring this back to 0Z, just so we can get a further look, 0Z had it a bit further to the east. So here is 0Z run, and here is 06Z. You can see the high pressure system is further to the east on the 0Z run, and that's not a good thing. That means that we could be seeing a tendency of this high pressure shifting to the west, and that would not be good for the United States. As you can tell, this comes dangerously close to the United States, so we are going to watch this very closely. And I start school Thursday, but that means we will have updates in the morning for you. And here's the CMC, a model that I don't usually show much, but I do think it is necessary in this forecast. And you can tell our high pressure, it's kind of going to linger a bit to the east, but it does start off there to the west. And like I said, that is the driving factor between this system. So we are watching this closely, although I do want to say here, it looks like the CMC has us tracking up through portions like New York, Maine. So we're watching this closely. And here's the icon model. And although I'm not going to be able to get far enough out to see, that high pressure, it definitely is a bit further. It is actually a bit further to the west. But honestly, I do think this will impact the United States. I don't like saying it, but I just think it will. Here's the GEFS, and let me actually put this on the ensemble member. And here's those possible outcomes again, as we have major discrepancy and a ton of different outcomes, as you can tell here. Right here, as it passes Puerto Rico, we get all these different outcomes that are going to be coming out of this. As you can tell, some of them have them going through Florida, others have them on the East Coast, some through the Northeast. So we are watching this closely. This is the European ensemble members, and well, you can tell here they seem to be a bit more in agreement. And I don't know if I push this to 0Z, you can tell here a lot more of them have them coming a lot closer to the United States. And so yes, there's a lot of model discrepancy, and yes, that means we just need to keep being prepared. Now here are our short-term tracks, and as you can tell, they're all pretty much in agreement in the short term, as we see that all the models are pretty much showing it steering a bit further to the east-northeast, kind of more north too. And here in the long run, you can tell we do have a few that take it pretty far to the north, but our main group is a bit further to the west, kind of northwest. And here we see that a lot of them actually have them coming out to sea as a fish storm, but there's a couple models that have it coming close to the United States. This was initialized at 0Z. Keep in mind, we do have our 06Z runs in, and I honestly think that these would be showing more of this now, more of these a bit further to the west. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on it, as this could be big. And here is what most models show in terms of intensity. You can see here, a lot of models have it between Category 3 to Category 2. We do have a model showing a Category 5 and a few showing Category 4. But our best bet, it looks like, is going to be a Category 2 to 3 hurricane in this area. So we're definitely going to watch it. Category 3 plus is a major hurricane. Now you may be wondering, what is this? Well, I have made this. And if you are in any of this yellow shaded area, I want you to be staying prepared for a potential major hurricane. Yes, you heard me right. I even highlighted back here in Texas, and I just think that there's so much time for this to change. Plus, if this does go through Florida, it would likely bring impacts along the Gulf of America, that southern Gulf Coast states. So that is why I have this area highlighted in yellow. And we will be adding orange and red as we get closer if it is necessary. And I thought I'd show you this map. This is hurricane threats that I have made. And you can see here, our main threats are tornadoes, some of which can be strong. Wind, sometimes these winds can exceed 175 miles an hour in Category 5 hurricanes. Now, that's not what we're talking about at the moment, but yes, winds can exceed 175 miles an hour. And then storm surge, sometimes we can have storm surge up to 20 feet. So if this happens, we will be live on this channel. If we are at school, we will have a radar and likely be coming back to coverage. So just know that we will be live on this channel if a hurricane is going to make landfall to the United States. And the hurricane action plan has been activated by me. And here is what I say about this. And we're in this green area right now, 5 to 7 days out. Unsure. I should have probably put a plus here, 5 to 7 plus days out. But you get it here. Just monitor the forecast. Tell family and friends, just, hey, heads up. We may have a hurricane heading our way. Just need to monitor that forecast. Know what to do in case of a real threat. So know your plan right now, what you're going to do if you are told to evacuate or anything. And then our fourth, confirm you have a reliable source. Whoever you're watching for your information, confirm with them, like whether it's on YouTube, go in that comment section. Just confirm that they are a reliable source. Kind of ask them what they think to make sure. Kind of look around, see what other people are saying. Because there's a lot of people out there that are going to say, oh yeah, major Category 5 hurricane to hit Florida, whenever it may not even hit the United States, not even going to be Category 5. They're just saying that for views, which is absolutely terrible. Moving on to our 1 to 4 days out, we'll show this again every day. But once we get 1 to 4 days out, make sure you're monitoring the forecast. Make sure family and friends know what is going on. Make sure to go over your plan and make sure to grab essentials. And make sure to check with that reliable source that you have identified. Then the day of a hurricane, have multiple ways to receive alerts. Check hourly for updates from your reliable source. Do not leave. If you were ordered to evacuate, you should have already evacuated. But if you haven't, do not leave. That is just a way to die. So do not leave. If you were told to evacuate but you never did, do not leave in the middle of it. And confirm with everyone that you know what to do if and when a warning comes through. I just like to make sure that you guys know that I can be a reliable source if you need, and that I will 100% be updating you daily. And like I said, if a hurricane is to make landfall in the United States, we will be live on this channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.